CW here. Let's put this mold away. Just a really quick one. This is mineral oil. I like the container. I buy that to get the container. And then I bought big economy size jugs to refill it from. This is just a acid brush. You can get them in the plumbing section. They work really good. And just spread it all over everything. All over your mold. Inside, outside, upside down. I take the screws out of the mounting screws first so that I can get in here. This will stop a lot of the corrosion. It's good if you do this while it's still a little bit warm. It migrates really, really well. The oil, I mean. This is a 6-shooter Texan mold. And you want to, the warmth really helps. Okay, here's another tip for you. This is a soap pencil you can get in the welding section. It works as really good as lubricant for the top of your mold. Sometimes you get a little bit of lead deposits, and a bamboo skewer that you get for doing shish kebabs and stuff works really good to scrape off the lead that you get, because it's a lot softer than the mold, and it'll scrape all the aluminum deposits off without scratching anything. We might have a scratch in there. We do. So there's a burr on this. So we'll chase that after. But you can see I put a little bit of this soap pencil on the bottom of here too. And that'll go a long way as a lubricant. It'll help to stop that galling, that aluminum from building up. And it's no big deal. It washes right off. It's soap pencil, so it's no big deal at all. It's impervious to the heat, and it's going to allow a little bit of lubrication so that you don't get that aluminum drag on everything. And get this in everything. This is just a mineral oil, just light mineral oil. It's perfectly fine for everything on the mold, inside, outside, upside down. It'll cut down on corrosion. It'll stop, rust is corrosion. It'll stop rust. And it'll help. We've got a little bit of a deposit there at the bottom of this cavity. Or a mark. And I don't feel anything there, but I can see it. You see what I'm seeing? All right, I can just feel something there. Let me zoom you in a little bit. We'll take a look. I don't know why it's not zooming in really good, but okay, there's what I'm looking at. And, all right, I don't really feel it. It might be just a mark in the aluminum. I thought it was a little bit of lead. Lead will gather at the corners and the edges here if you crack your mold too fast, too early, too cold. But this looks really good. So we'll just continue getting the oil all over everything, inside all the cavities. Set it down. I don't like to set it on this towel because it'll soak it. It'll soak the oil up, and we don't really want that. It's not going to hurt it or anything. It's just not going to be on the mold anymore, and we want it on the mold. So make sure you get it in all the cavities, under the screws, all around everything, in the holes, because this is steel. Inside these holes is a steel. Okay, now we'll put this back together. Close the mold up. Now let's get these screws. These are the mounting screws for the pins. It gets all over your fingers, but that's okay. It's just mineral oil. It'll wipe right off. Get it inside the pocket there where the Allen wrench goes. You don't want that to rust up on you. Put it back in the mold. You see just a little bit of tarnish was on here. Just a flashing of surface rust was starting because these screws were dry. They'll get dry every time you cast, because it'll heat it up. It'll cook off this mineral oil. And that's the best thing about this mineral oil. You don't have to go nutso crazy. You can see the rust in there. See it? See it down there in the bottom? The mineral oil will cook right off. and it will not cause you any problems with your casting. See, now we got it all wet in there, so that'll take care of that rust. All right, it's actually good to have oily fingers because now you're not going to pull moisture off the mold because you're touching it with oily fingers. Just thread your studs back in. You're going to spread that oil all across those threads inside the mold. You don't have to crush them down. There's no reason to. Go all the way down until they stop and just back them off a quarter of a turn until they stop and back them off. There's no reason for them to be super tight. Then just hit them again to make sure you got anything you touched is still going to have oil on it. All the sides, all the edges, everything. There you go. That mold's ready to be put away. This is a beautiful 6-shooter Texan 44 mag mold. God bless everybody. CW out.